Beyond Basics helps adults with intellectual disabilities by providing independent living skills beyond their basics. I talked with the executive director of the program, Ashton Johnson, for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Ashton Johnson, welcome to the award-winning Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, you're very welcome. Obviously, you are the executive director of Beyond Basic in Somerville. And obviously, Beyond Basic assists adults with intellectual disabilities in becoming contributing members of society by providing a program that enables independent living skills beyond the basics. Let me just jump right into it, Ashton. Does intellectual disability and developmental disability sometimes overlap while teaching certain skills?
Sometimes, yeah. We try not to label. We try to just accept everyone for who they are, and we just see every individual as they come in. We do assessments on, and just like have conversations of what's your goal? What do you want out of our services, and what can we provide for you? And then from there, we adapt and adjust, and we persevere and work together to create a successful life journey.
And what are those conversations you're having now about your services?
I mean, it all is individual based. Like we have, for example, I can talk about my sister. One of the reasons why I started this program is that she was very active. We've been a very active family. We've volunteered. I've coached. I've helped out as unified player in the Special Olympics of South Carolina. We've also gone to different community centers for different programming. But during the day, my sister just really wasn't doing anything. She was just kind of being, and she was happy. But when she would stay at my apartment, we would talk about having these life conversations of what do you want to do? Because I was kind of during that transitional time of like, well, I need to be an adult as well. So getting a job, finding a relationship, meeting up with friends, having a social life. And what we realized is that Melissa doesn't always have those opportunities. And also my family as well. I mean, my sister is 5 years older than I am. She is the older sister, so I have to make sure that I have that on record. And, it's a struggle. It's always a hard time to get the right services and really understand what's the best for my sister, when sometimes it's that communication is a little hard. So what I've decided with my partner, Molly Smith, is to create a place where, let's just figure it out, trial and error. And, let's set a plan. And Melissa's goal was to make more friends and to have a job. Okay, well, what all does it take to be independent and to have a job, not only for her to be successful, but also for those employers to have a successful teammate working at that job? And then also, how are we going to help the caregivers at home? There's transportation, working with employment. What are all of those conversations, and how can we, break down this huge picture into tiny little steps so you can be successful there?
What is the trial and what is the error when it comes to Beyond Basic?
The trial is honestly just working on communication and also understanding, if someone needs to look at something a little differently. I mean, let's take our cooking classes, for example. We really sometimes need to look at adaptive tools. I mean, for me, when I go home and I cook dinner, I just, if I'm chopping up an apple, I just need a knife and a cutting board. That works for me. Now, we take my sister, that does not work for her. She needs, I don't know the technical term, so I apologize, but the apple slicer that has all the cuts in it, and then she slams it down and is able to have slices of apple. That is what works for her. And so it was, in the kitchen, trial and error of, okay, what works for you and how can we get you there? Because it's, that's it's the journey. That's the trial and error, is getting to the goal. What's the journey?
And what are the right services for people like your sister right now beyond Basic?
Not much. I mean, when you're talking about to be able to support her in a living independent lifestyle, there's not. That's one of the reasons why we started this, is to make sure that we're able to support not only the teammate but also the caregivers. They're teammates as well. We're all teammates.
Right.
I might be considered a team captain when I'm facilitating a skill, but I'm still part of the team. I'm not the coach or the referee. It's all about mutual respect. And currently here in the Low Country, there's not really a program that supports an individual like my sister to be successful and also to support the caregiver team at home.
Let me talk about obviously the disability in generality, because I was thinking this: people with cognitive ability and obviously adaptive functioning. How many of those people are locally that have those abilities and functions that are significantly below average?
I mean, the numbers are always changing. There's such a significant wait list. I know DDSN is in its thousands of trying to get services for those individuals. I mean, currently we serve 45 families with 25 families on our wait list.
And I know obviously you all serve adults, but at what age does a person is a person evaluated for intellectual disability?
It all depends on the doctor, the caregiver. I mean, it goes back to reaching those different milestones and, having those conversations with that doctor and the parent and that child, to receive those diagnoses or to receive that they need those extra external helps.
And can those evaluations happen with a local early intervention program first?
Yeah, there are a lot of early intervention programs out here in the Low Country that is offered. That's something that you would do first.
Wow. And what are those developmental delays that you guys have actually discovered?
Well, we're not doctors.
Right.
So, again, we're not labeling or diagnosing anybody. We're just here to see what you can do and highlight your abilities. I can speak for one of our teammates. I know that when her mother came in for our essential meeting, one of her teachers told her that she's plateaued, like there's no room for growth. She's not going to expand. Don't expect her to talk or do anything. And with our program, along with, we also really work with Palmetto Music Therapy. We truly believe in the power of music and just honestly mutual respect. Seeing an individual as an individual and as an adult. That is our key to success in peer-on-peer interaction and just tons of encouragement. This young lady is speaking. She's brushing her teeth, taking out the trash. Yesterday, we were working on sweeping skills. She's sweeping. She's saying people's names.
Right.
She, wants to do things. She has found that we believe in her, so she then believes in herself. And then that also is a ripple effect. Not
Right.
only do we see she's being successful, we also see the success of our other peers, that are just coming in and saying, oh, hey, this individual is having lots of success, maybe I can have success as well. And then it just continues to go on from there.
Wow. And what's the biggest view of the person's general mental abilities?
I mean, that's an open-ended question. What are the possibilities? What are the possibilities for you or I? It's endless. And that's the thing. As long as you can give good encouragement, have respect for an individual, and you can continue to add fuel to that fire, it's endless. And we hope so. You talk about trial and error. It's
Right.
because, sometimes we come up with a program and we realize, it's not the best. We have a team meeting, with everyone and saying, okay, well, how can we readjust this to where we can do something else? Or, hey, life happens. This is something that happened in my life. I need help. I need to figure this out. Can I do that with my team? We never cap anything, just like we never cap our age. As long as you have, we've even had adolescents in the teens that high school just wasn't the best fit for them. So they have come to our program to find success. We are looking for some type of level of maturity because we are adults and that's who we serve.
Right.
But we also are super excited for this summer. We are working with adolescents from 14 to 21 to help with that transition. We all could have help for transition from adolescent to adulthood.
And what's that transition like now these days versus 20, 30 years ago when people were growing up?
Well, I can speak for my sister. It was non-existent. For sure. I know that my mom, when my sister is 37 now, my mother was in the military, my father was in the military, and it was definitely advised that she should just check Melissa into a facility. And that's the real truth is, having a child with a disability is a burden. It's too much work, and why deal with it? Just go ahead and check them in. And now, 30 years later, it's completely different. There's services, like you said, there's early intervention. There's adult services going on. There's more community. I mean, we work really closely with, there's Heart, which is an inclusive theater program downtown Charleston. We love them. There is Low Country Autism Foundation.
Right.
There's the Down Syndrome Association. There's all these different community groups to where you can find answers and you can find those connections. Not saying that you still aren't lost. I mean, it still can feel, I know I can speak to myself as a sibling. I'm in my 30s, and when I grew up, I didn't really know that many other siblings with another sibling with a disability. So I see that's changing, and there's more connection, and there's people are more talking about it, and it's a safe place to talk about it.
Yes. And what are those typical child abilities and common skills that you compare with other children at right around the same age?
It all depends on the individual. I mean, when you talk about different milestones, I'm not an expert on that again, because I don't work with the younger population,
Okay.
but it could be anything of, looking at eye contact, facial recognition, walking, speaking.
Yes.
It just goes back to the milestones of, are they reaching them at, what we call the standard, the spectrum, of the different milestones. But again, I'm not an expert.
And I know individuals with intellectual disabilities typically spend their first 2 decades in a structured environment with limited access to specialized support. What is that specialized support that they need after those first 2 decades?
It's just continuing. The biggest thing is that a lot of people will, recommend to stop OT, to stop speech therapy,
Right.
And behavioral therapy. The list can go on. And ultimately, we all, just like everybody, we all need assistance through life. You don't all of a sudden wake up and you're 18 and you're this amazing adult, living life to the fullest. And, if that was the case, tell me your secret.
Yes.
But it's ultimately that these services, need to continue. And it's okay that they need to continue through your adult life. It's okay that you need speech therapy until you're 99 years old. It's okay that you might need occupational therapy. And it's not just, it goes back to not capping it. And that's kind of the biggest issue when you talk about post-secondary help, is that it's non-existent. We call it the cliff of nothingness, is that you go through life, early intervention, seeing all these different therapies, getting all these different services, and then all of a sudden, poof, they're gone. And then it also costs so much, money. It's not always covered on insurance, and that's the sad thing about it.
And what's those typical costs today in 2021?
Just talking about music therapy, that's something that we truly believe in. We try to work on getting grants and extra services. It's costing us $1,170 a month to make sure that we can provide group music therapy sessions. And, so just for example of how we use music therapy, we have our music therapist do one-on-one if a teammate needs it, just to help with anything, sweeping, speaking, making choices, fine motor skills, mental health, which is a huge thing.
Yes.
So one cool thing is this month we're doing home skills, which is sweeping. We always break all of our different skills. We go from social skills to behavioral de-escalation to science experiments to health heroes, fitness, and home skills. Basically, how can you provide and clean your home if you were ever, hey, maybe you should start cleaning your room. You're 18, you need to do it.
Right.
So we're doing sweeping. and we're practicing it more in, a static frame
Right.
with your team, and then through music in like more of a one-on-one base, and
Right.
then we bring it into our music therapy class where it's a group music therapy where it's really fun, and we have this thing called sweeping wars where we're really breaking down the dynamics of how do you sweep, what's the mechanics behind it, and then also music is fun.
Yes, exactly right. And speaking of programs, I know currently South Carolina public programs for individuals with disabilities continue until the age of 21. What are those most popular programs?
um like outside programs, I mean, there's Special Olympics.
Oh,
I know the
yes.
community center
Oh, yes.
host different adaptive, inclusive programs. I know that, City of Charleston has a great one. Town of Mount Pleasant has a great
Yes.
one. Goose Creek.
Oh,
They
yes.
just revealed a adaptive trike bike, which was really awesome. It's free for the public. So that is fantastic. I know Walterboro is about to get their therapeutic recreation department. So that's a huge help because a lot of those families are driving like long distance. I know when I coached, like Special Olympics just started back because we took that break from COVID.
Right.
I teach a running club in Mount Pleasant, and I've had parents drive 2 hours to me to do that, and because it's important. And so really, those are kind of some of those programs. There's a lot more options under
Wow.
21.
Wow, that's amazing. And I know Beyond Basic Team believes that everyone deserves the opportunity and applicable resources necessary to achieve their own definition of a fulfilled, independent life. What is that typical definition?
It's all defined by the individual that walks through the door. What do you want to define your life to be? And also the team. And one of the best things about what we do here is being able to reflect with the caregivers of saying, oh, I set the bar here and I should have set the bar here. And it's just one of the most magical things is, again, through mutual respect, through words of encouragement and peer on peer learning, we have truly been able to give an individual encouragement and recognition. Like my favorite thing is one of our teammates he used to come in and be like, I'm a boy. And it's like, no, I'm a man. And he takes that to heart. He's like, I'm a man. I have responsibilities. I want these responsibilities and I'm ready to go do them.
Absolutely. And you also said this too. We have found that once our teammates are challenged, they're excited to rise to the occasion. We believe that all adults should learn basic skills such as cooking healthy, exercising, as you mentioned, communicating with others, as you also mentioned, performing household chores, and managing money. When given the opportunity, our teammates not only meet expectations, but they exceed them, you say. What basic skills, Ashton, have challenged you recently?
I would say always communication. I know something, I mean, just with myself, of just identifying how I feel and being able to communicate that with my peers of, hey, it's okay that I'm frustrated. What's my action plan? Okay. Do I go throw my phone and put a little tantrum together? No, I need to take some deep breaths. I need to self-regulate. I need to go communicate that with my peers. I mean, that's something that my sister and I have a conversation with all the time. And I always used to, fear a lot for my sister. Even though she is the older sister and she could totally handle any situation that comes to her, I never initially let her because I feared. I mean, we've had incidents where it's very traumatic, and we've had people that have been disrespectful to us. So it's that protection that goes into play. But when you're always protecting, you're not respecting that individual and you're not allowing them to handle and find that confidence and show our community and show individuals that are ignorant that we're not what you perceive us to be. So that is something that I've definitely learned through this process is it's okay to have fear. It's okay to want to be protective, but that's not always the best thing to show. It's okay to feel that, but to act in that. We always, one of our key phrases is we will not do for, but we will do.
Right. Right. So, and I'm so sorry about that, but yeah, I completely understand that. And you also say this too. We believe each individual is capable of their own unique independence and deserves a quality program that will suit their needs. We will work to provide a variety of learning opportunities and experiences so that our friends are well-rounded and find fulfillment in their lives. Let me ask you this, Ashton. How well-rounded will Beyond Basics be in the next 5 to 10 years?
Hopefully a full circle. um, so one of our goals is to, just like you said, getting funding for 21 and up is extremely hard. And there's a lot of regulations. We aren't a medical model. We try to be the least restrictive, because we really want to make sure that our teammates can, excel. And if they have an idea or if they have a goal, let's go get it. Let's go do it. Let's not be restrictive. So we are a tuition-based program, and we try to make sure that we keep our costs low. But at the same time, we want it, just like we want to be accessible to all of our teammates, we want to be accessible for financial reasons as well. And we do try to offer scholarships. We definitely work with other organizations to help get funding. I know we're working with like 5 other organizations just to make sure that all of our campers can get scholarships to come to our program, so financials aren't the hindrance of coming into it. But ultimately, we want to be able to be at a sustainable place. We have this amazing space in Somerville that has a full kitchen, laundry room, a full open recreational area. We want to bring the community in. We want to be inclusive when it's appropriate times. We want the community to know about us. We want them to help us, but we also want to help them. One of our biggest things is we ask for help. We should be able to go give help as well. So we're looking at getting out there in the community, especially now that it's a little bit more safer with COVID. Sure. Everyone's pretty much vaccinated. We're excited to get out. No more being indoors. We want to make sure, like we're going into our 3rd big annual fundraiser, Beyond the Disc, September 11th. Whoop, whoop. And what we're doing is we're hoping to build that, and we also would love to add another fundraiser to our program, establish community partnerships that would like to donate to our program, to make sure that anyone that enters our program can come in, and it's not because of financials that they're not able to.
And how do you establish those community partnerships right now?
Right now, I usually we'll talk to different local businesses. We have a packet that we send out, and there's different levels of donors that you can do. We also have our job coaching program to see if we can partner with you and getting our teammates in there interning, and then eventually maybe finding fulfillment if it all works out. And that's kind of where it starts. It's just having that conversation, presenting our needs, showing where we need help financially.
Yes, indeed. And where do you need help financially right now?
Is making sure, helping with our operations. Just like you're a one-man show. I was checking you out. You're very impressive.
Thank you.
Molly and I have been, we have an amazing team now. We have 6 employees. Some are full-time, some are part-time. We actually have a group of volunteers from MUSC downstairs. We always need volunteers. So Sure. Please, anyone that ever wants to come and volunteer, come on. It's about $50 a day to come into our program. So we always need that extra help financially. Like I said, our music therapy is $1,170 a month. A community partner that wants to come up and pick up that tab, that would be great. We do right now have 1 van, and we would like to get another one, so we can get out in the community, because transportation's not that great here. So we don't want any barriers, right. Basically. So yeah, the biggest thing is either funding different projects or just giving an amount each month truly helps us. And on our website, we have a different level of giving that you can commit to, and it has like a little description of what you would be providing. Our supplies, like today, we were printing out all of our different packets, and we were like, man, I wish we had like a big commercial printer. This wouldn't take this much time. Right. And it's all those extra things because we want to make sure that our teammates have quality stuff. We need good products, and we want to make sure that our teammates are excited to be here, excited to learn. And so we really try to go above the basics, beyond the basics.
Exactly right. And you talked earlier about confidence. Where is your confidence level now versus when you began Beyond Basics?
Oh, it's definitely a lot higher. I mean, I started this when I was in my younger years of 25, and I just jumped right in. I didn't really think about how do we make this like the business side of sustainability. I was more on the service side because, again, I saw my sister, some of our teammates I've known for 12 plus years. They are my true friends. We go to the movies, well, not this past year, but we do hang out. And the athletes that I work with, the Special Olympics, I heard conversations with them. I've heard conversations with their caregivers. It was all about taking action and getting it started. And so when I walked in, we were so gracious. We were able to partner up with the city of Charleston, and they were able to provide a room for us at the Shaw Community Center, which we absolutely loved being at the Shaw Community Center. I miss them dearly. But we were in a paint closet. It used to be an old locker room, and I was shocked, but I was like, we're going to make this work. We're going to work with the community. And it was a bare wall with no windows. We found cloud paper. We put it up on the ceiling. Right. We painted the floor green. We got whiteboards up. We went to Target. Whatever we could get out of the dollar section, we got out of the dollar section, and we made it work. And through that, and through talking with my teammates, talking with my sister, talking with the caregivers, my confidence has grown just like their confidence have grown. We have truly unified and grown as a team.
Oh, that's amazing. And one more time, what's your website address?
BeyondBasicLifeSkills.org.
.org. Well, Ashton Johnson, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome to the award-winning Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to meet you in person soon.
Likewise, definitely will.
Take care.
Likewise.